and it's cool because these guys, you know, they have a history together that stems back like even 12 years before this, or longer. So it's like a moment in time thing. Like I can remember times listening to Covert Coop, and now speeding that up over a decade, you know, ahead, and hearing this album and covering it and talking about it on a podcast, right? Another thing that was, I think, very significant about this album, and kind of goes with this thing of like Alchemist putting your album together and sequencing your project, which I think has done a lot for a lot of artists recently. But the feature list, the guests on this album, I mean, just pulling them out of a hat. Like, are you kidding me? Like, so obviously we get the Boldy feature, which I'm glad, like, most of these projects that come out with Alchemist or come out in this space, like, everybody wants a Boldy feature. Boldy always gets one.
Dude, I'm telling you,
on your album.
we've been talking about it. Boldy is top
10, right?
Top 10. He might be above top 10 at this
top
point.
10. I always just give him top 10. You know, I just keep it. Well, now it's just like it's just the catchphrase whenever I talk about
right.
Boldy James. I just gotta say top 10 rapper after I say Boldy James.
Yeah.
But so he's on here with his own track, his own feature.
What else?
Yeah. And then what really threw me through a loop, I think I listened to this a couple times before it really just like hit me like a ton of bricks, was that Havoc and Wiz Khalifa got like a track together.
That shit's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, because like,
it's so fucking wild.
I mean, what makes you like think like, yo, after getting Havoc on the track, so you're like, man, we should get Wiz on this. Now I know Wiz and Currency, I mean, they go back as far as rappers can even go, but it's just crazy. The other thing I wanted to say about that too, because I had this thought like 2 weeks ago, I still fuck with a Wiz verse every now and then. Like, Wiz has still actually had some cool features.
I love Wiz.
Sometimes he shows up in places that surprises me, and then he just drops off like a nice verse, like a decent verse, and then I'm like, cool. Like, I can still totally take a Wiz Khalifa feature every now and again. No problem.
I do definitely like find myself seeing Wiz in the same light, maybe not to the same extremity, but like the same light as I see a Wayne and a Snoop, where it's like, yeah, definitely like have had misses for sure.
Oh yeah,
like huge.
If he drops an album tomorrow, if he drops Cushion Orange Juice 2 tomorrow, like there's a chance I might just not check it out. But I'm definitely saying his features and shit.
Yeah,
still dope.
He's a fully capable artist of dropping some crazy shit.
Yeah. It's just he's like the kind of artist that doesn't really need to do something like artistically like centered. He's like never really been that guy, and now even more so. It's like why? But you hear him with Currency, who he goes way back with, and right there, like he can kind of snap into that bag. So I agree. Very like capable artist. And here's another thing too. We've been talking about how far or how deep the roots are for Alchemist in hip hop. The same goes for Currency as well. I mean, like, Currency was a Young Money signee. He was one of the first Young Money, Cash Money signees to that record label. And it just goes to show you how he's gone from situation to situation and always been like hyper consistent, always himself, while also being able to adapt as time goes along. Like, that's the other thing that's really impressive. He's doing the same thing today that he was really doing 10 years ago, but it doesn't come off that way. It doesn't come off.
He even mentions it on this album. He even says like found my lane and stayed in it or whatever it was.
Yeah. And you would imagine most people have to do like some sort of change of pace, but he's always been able to honestly. I mean, he's just always had like really the same sauce, and it's always come off fresh. It's always come off like decent, talented. Like, you know, again with adding a theme to every project that maybe it's not oozing out of every single song, but it's thought into the way that this is presented to you. You know, it's things like that he's been able to build a brand with and just like be in hip hop. And sometimes he's a little bit more present, sometimes he's a little bit more like step back, but this is a moment where again it's like we're talking about this being some of our favorite music, our favorite lane of music that's come out, and it really has defined this podcast since we've been doing it. Like these have been the projects we've hit on every single time, and here he is like dropping one of them. So I also want to say Styles P on here, great verse. Babyface Ray, another one that's just like, okay, cool, we here. This is dope. I didn't know I was gonna get this. This is dope. Not on my bingo card though. And then Larry June pop up at the end, do some. Cool shit.
I need at least either a West Side Gun executive produced Larry June record, or I need an Alchemist Larry June record. Like, I need a Larry June feature on this thing of ours EP.
They said Larry June and fuck. Why can't I remember? Oh, Jay Worthy.
That's what I'm thinking of.
They're supposed to drop this 2 Peas in a Pod Griselda project. That was something they announced in the past.
I need a Jay Worthy, because Jay Worthy on is it Sincerely Adolf, like the side B, or is that the first? Whatever. The side B. I'm thinking of either because I mixed them up, but I think it's Jay Worthy. But he has a bar where it's like big press, full court. This is Staples Center. Staples on that dude's stomach where the bullets entered, like on this like ridiculous Alchemist beat on the second. Hold on, I gotta look it up.
Side B? Because he does have a track with Larry June on side B, Survivor Series.
I think
95.
it's Survivor Series. I think it's Jay Worthy's verse.
Yeah,
but like both of them together, like there's something very like effortless with the way Westside can just construct a West Coast vibe on a track, even though they're all from Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like and then another thing I wanted to say about Currency, like I feel like, as you said, Dev, like the thematic quality may not be on all the tracks, but especially when he works with Alchemist, like that the way that the album is sequenced and the way that the album was curated, there was incredible effort and incredible care into the sequencing of the album. Like, and there's a certain intimacy with an Alchemist project.
Currency is usually like putting albums together with multiple producers too, and like just grabbing beats. Yeah. Sometimes he's just like buying beats off the internet and whatnot. And so to hear him like with one slate of production too, being that it's the Alchemist is really interesting. It is a similar thing for like the Arm & Hammer album, where you took their sound and you really grounded it to what Alchemist does, and then all of a sudden you got this really continuous element of them on the raps and this really continuous element of the Alchemist on there.